by Federation of Indian Women Entrepreneur called Rubaru, Hamari Pehchan. I'm Dr. Rajni Aggarwal, and we welcome here today Sharmila Rai Jain, जो कि एक बहुत मानी जानी entrepreneur है, and it is really a pleasure to talk to you, Sharmila ji, today about your journey as entrepreneur, your journey as women entrepreneur. Why I'm insisting on two different issues, your journey as entrepreneur and your journey as women entrepreneur, because I feel that the journey of women entrepreneur is slightly different than a normal entrepreneur like male entrepreneur. Why I say it's not normal, abnormal, but I mean to say that in our society since long, it has been a male dominated work area, entrepreneurship. And now that women are entering in a big way, so this is something very different for the society, something very welcoming for the people who think that it should be an inclusive approach and women should be a part of that developing society and the new era, the new phase of our society where women and men both are equal. So I welcome you,
Thank you
Shamila.
so much, ma'am. And it's a great pleasure to be on this platform and to be invited here. I hope I can share something which would be helpful to other women in India.
Okay, so nice. So Shamila ji, when did you start this program of your entrepreneurship program?
So in the year 2001, I was in Nepal working for a company which supplied tin cans to Colgate. Nepal was going through a turmoil, and my husband and I were both working there. I was the financial head, and he was the plant in charge. And we had to rush, leave everything, and come back to India. And Hyderabad was home, so that's when we came here. As luck would have it, we got an opportunity with through a relative who said that there was some company looking for mono cartons for the liquor industry. And we did our research, and though because it was packaging, we decided why not go for it. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm from a family of 3 daughters, and my father brought us up saying that there's nothing my daughter can't do which a man would do. So I had seen that with the help of my father. Though there were different stories I have to say about what my grandmother thought. I always thought that the boys of the house should be fed first because they earned. They got back, though she loved us a lot. It was always that the boys should be treated as superior because they are the earning members of the house. And I think from a very young age that had hurt me. That that's not fair. What is it that I can't do which my cousin brother could do? So I think that was ingrained in my head. And in 2001, I got this opportunity and I started my first factory, which was a corrugation industry in Hyderabad from a small rented premises. With the first month, we had 3 employees. And there were times when I had to sit on the machine. It was a very small premises which we had taken. And we were lucky that we got a good customer of the liquor industry. And the first year we had, that financial year, I had a turnover of 6 lakhs. The next year was 60 lakhs. And then, of course, we grew well.
Very nice. So you had a good start, a very humble start though.
Yes.
But your husband was a part of it, of whatever you started?
Yes. So the business was started by me. I had some savings with me, which I put in. I sold my car, which I had, and put in some more extra money at the time. But yes, my husband was also part of it.
Very nice. But tell me, between the two of you, I mean, it's a little awkward question, But I think as an entrepreneur, I'm sure that clarity has to be there
Yes, of
amongst two of you,
course.
because who is going to manage finance and who's going to look after the management?
So
So how
it
did
was
you
very
bifurcate?
clear. It was very clear that finance is with me. I also have an education, and I
uh,
think women manage homes well, and the finance might come in from the men in the natural, in the very, old-fashioned this thing, but it's managed by the woman. I think a woman is born a manager. She manages her husband, her children, home, and anything else which is needed. So it was
and
very clear that
overall finance, huh?
yes.
As a good manager as well as a good financer.
Yeah. So
Very nice. Uh,
the finance is totally taken care by me. My
mm,
husband looks after basically the marketing part of it.
mm.
We both looked into production on and off, depending on it, but we have grown since, and now I have professionals running my production also.
Oh, I see. Very
Mhm.
nice. So tell me, during your journey as a woman entrepreneur, when did you think that you need to expand and you need to have money from the financial institutions? Did at any time of your entrepreneurship or your development in the your venture in your project, you felt that this is the time when I should go for financial help from a financial institution?
So, of course, working capitals was something we needed right in the beginning, immediately. And we were working on some small limits, which grew as our turnovers grew also. But the main financial help I needed was in the year 2009 when a large company called Schneider, there's a background to that, a company called Schneider Electric approached us, and
Mm-hmm.
they wanted a particular box which we could develop for them in Hyderabad. And but they looked at the setup and they said, "Oh my God, we can't buy it from you. We need all these particular standards, and you don't have Six Sigma, and you don't have ISO, and you don't have the place." So they went away, but they came back because they couldn't get the box from anybody else. And it was fortunate that we were able to develop that particular box, which was a self-locking system. And
Mm-hmm.
they said, well, you can give us the box, but I can't tell my boss I'm buying from you, because if he came and looked at the setup, he would be absolutely shocked. So we said,
Okay.
okay, give us 6 months.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
we had already started searching for some property to set up our plant.
Yeah, sorry, please continue.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can.
Yeah. So, fortunately for us, he gave us 6 months, and I had identified a land by then, but I needed the money. I managed to buy the land, but for the construction also, and for the registration, I needed some more money. So that's when I approached the APSFC, the State Financial Corporation,
Okay.
and I was very lucky. Though the interest rates are slightly higher, they do value an entrepreneur and look at your projects and look at your backgrounds and your capabilities, and reach out. And in that way, our loan was sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the matter was done, and I had won the battle. But when
Okay.
it came to asking them for the money to register, they said no. Now you
Oh,
register the land, and we will reimburse the money.
I see.
And I said, how am I going to do that? If I had the money, I wouldn't have come to you in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
again, there was a little battle with them, but fortunately, I was able to convince them. And they had the last DD with them at the registration table, and we managed to buy the land and grow. So that was our first instance of taking a loan, term loan.
Uh, when you took a term loan,
Yeah.
I'm sure there must be some benefit as a women entrepreneur to you. Like, for example, uh, I remember during when I
Yeah.
was doing business, if for women it was the
Point.
10% your
There's a
contribution.
0.5% interest rebate to a woman entrepreneur.
Acha, 0.5%
Percent
interest rebate. But
interest
as far
rebate.
as the contribution is concerned, How much was
Uh,
it? Similar to men or
it was
women?
similar. At
It was
that
similar.
moment in APSFC, it was similar. I didn't get a benefit on that.
I see. I see. And you are still continuing with them or
No,
what?
no, I am not with them any longer. I have moved since to various banks, and presently I'm banking with Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Okay, lovely. So, what has been your final, the process through which you went through APFC, and finally you said bid goodbye to them?
Yeah.
How was it? I mean, how did you feel? Were they good? Were they really not
I think
so
that's
supportive to
a
women?
very good institute because
Mm,
entrepreneurs sometimes are small and they do not have the collaterals, they don't have the huge bank balances to be able to, support themselves till the loan is approved. So in
mm-hmm,
cases like that, I feel the institute like the financial government financial institutes really look at you, look at your qualifications, treat you well, and do support you in putting together your financial project report also. I got a lot of help from them, idea from them as to what was required. There were times when they sat with me and corrected my statements or told me exactly what was needed. Yes, it took a month. Yes, their bank interest is normally a percent or two higher than the bank, but sometimes you need the money a lot more than that 2%.
very true, very true. So, your experience with the financial institution, state financial institution, uh, was you will say it will come under if we start giving some numbers to them between 1 to 10, what number will you give to them uh, from the
I would
point of
say
view of that
about
a good
eight.
pardon.
I think definitely eight because I had to fight that battle for them to reimburse the money at the registration. So
Uh-huh.
the 2 points is because I fought it out. If
Okay,
somehow the milder woman who wouldn't fight it out would have had a problem getting that money.
I see. Okay, so as a woman there was no hurdle as a
There was
woman.
no hurdle. In fact, ma'am, I've always said this in so many interviews also
Mm,
that being a woman sometimes is not always a hindrance because, in fact, the moment they have a woman sitting outside the door, they will call the lady in. They don't
mm-hmm,
like to make women wait so much.
mm-hmm,
So I've always felt that, in fact, they treat you very well and they let you in. They
mm.
might think you're stupid after that, but they would let you into the room. Then it's up to you to prove a point.
And well, very good point you said. Do they think that women are stupid, or women themselves think that we are
Incapable.
stupid? Yeah.
They still treat of the remember them as women in the house or
Uh,
housewives or
uh,
mothers and daughters and sisters, but not
uh,
businesswomen. So
uh,
they. I remember most of the times it's like, who's with you? Okay, is your husband
mm,
there with you? Oh, who's coming along? Or do you have a finance manager? And then you
uh,
have to tell them, you know what, you're going to have to deal with me.
mm.
I'm the boss and I'm here looking for the money and I can handle it. Ask the questions, I will answer them.
Very nice. So you were pretty confident about
Yes, I was.
everything, and so the difference you could find because of your confidence,
Yes.
or because of your being women. It's a very thin line, but I
Yeah,
just
it's a
want to
very
know.
thin line. The
Hmm.
the opening you get because you're a woman sometimes.
Okay.
Not you don't lose out because you're a woman, but the entry you do get because you're a woman. But
Uh
then
huh.
a woman probably has to prove herself a little more than a man.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Because very often they do not think a woman will be capable and they
Hmm.
are a little apprehensive. So
Hmm.
the confidence you show or emote really
Hmm.
helps.
Hmm. Hmm.
You have to go in with the figures, you have to be confident, and you have to know your project inside out. The
Hmm.
moment you start talking about your project, an entrepreneur does know it's his or her passion. You know it inside
Hmm.
out, you want it to happen, and you're fighting for it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think that helps.
That helps. Very nice. And this was your first exposure with the financial institution.
Yes, it
Now,
was.
when you further and forward in your
Yeah,
business, and then you grow and you go for a bigger chunk of
loan.
money, Then
Yes.
what has been your experience?
So I think once you've got your first loan, you sort
Mm,
of know how you're going to go about it with the bankers.
mm,
You learn some of the tricks of the trade, so to say.
yes.
I have been part of the ISB Goldman Sachs 10,000 Women.
Okay.
So I've won the best business plan there.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I went for a further loan.
Mm.
And what I did was I added ISB 10,000 Women onto my business card.
Okay.
So I felt one, I was a woman, so I was let in. Like I said, normally
Uh,
they do let you. And then I gave my card. And the moment I gave the card, the ISP, gave me the value of an MBA,
mm-hmm.
and the Goldman Sachs gave me a value of a financial institute.
Okay,
So
lovely.
I used both those strengths
Very
to
good.
leverage my business and
Uh-huh.
to have them hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to be very smart as to use the correct things with them, show the
Mm-hmm.
confidence, show you're involved, and show
Mm-hmm.
you will give them back their money.
Mm-hmm. Very
Finally, they have to have
absolutely.
the confidence that the loan will be put to good use and you are capable of returning and paying their EMIs.
Mm-hmm. Since one question which I want to ask you, I'm sure you must have had some technical uh, requirement. Means you wanted to partner with somebody or wanted to have the technical know-how. So how did you
Mm.
overcome that? Did you think that you're being a woman, it was a very difficult situation, or you felt that being a woman, it's not a question of men or women, it's a question of your knowledge, it's a question of how much you have done your research work on the topic, on the subject, and what are you actually looking for. So what was it, you think, as a woman or as an entrepreneur? How do you think, and in what way your woman, being a woman, helped you in that?
So, here being a woman didn't really help me
Okay.
because I run a manufacturing unit for corrugated boxes and I was non technical. I was a finance background person, though I had seen machines, but I didn't know how to run them. I hadn't really worked on them. I didn't have the mechanical knowledge.
Mm,
But I told myself it can't be all that difficult. Most of the people who run factories are management people, not really technical. And I
mm,
have technical operators. What are they for? In
mm,
case I don't need to run it, I need to see that they run it well for me. So we managed fairly all right. In the beginning, there were trainings by the machinery suppliers, and also we got by. But later, I would find that the operators just did not like to accept me.
mm,
It was, how can a woman be, you don't know anything about machines. That's a man's
mm.
world.
Yeah.
So that was something you need to again overcome. At every bit, there is a little hurdle a woman faces,
Mm,
but it's not impossible to get past it. Today, I have women working on as operators on the machines,
mm,
enough of them. So everything is possible. You just have to have the confidence, go along, look at it with
mm,
them, and
mm.
it happens.
It happens. True. So it is basically your resilience and your knowledge and your determination which works ultimately.
Determination,
Determination
determination, and confidence.
and confidence. Well, these are the two aspects. We talked about technology, we talked about finance. Now, the third part, which is very, very important, is marketing, especially your product, because your product is required by the end users because
Yes.
they look for items which needs to be packed and then sent to their customers.
Yeah.
So, how did you do the marketing of it? Because it has to be customized, it has to be altogether different because it can't be one size, one product, one specification.
Correct.
So how did you do that?
So, like I said, actually, the marketing was handled by my husband. He was
Mm-hmm.
looking after the marketing of the company.
Mm-hmm.
But the basic USP we ran on was we would give very good quality, and we reached out to companies which wanted very good quality in smaller volumes. So
Mm-hmm.
we said we would go out for the multinationals,
Mm-hmm.
but the kind of volumes they required, we would not be able to supply. So let's look at some of their products, which was low as compared to the size of the company, which we
Mm-hmm.
would be able to handle. And
Mm-hmm.
then the advantage would be that they would be dealing with in packaging and in corrugated. There are a lot of people, entrepreneurs who are
Yeah.
uneducated. So
Mm.
for a multinational to deal with an educated entrepreneur is so much easier as compared to dealing with someone who's uneducated. So we
Mm.
made use of our education in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And also for us, the advantage was handling these kind of customers. The payments came on time. So we didn't have to worry too much about the payments or following up
Mm.
on the payments. And our
Mm.
cycle went on running properly.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a little longer to get into a company like that. It's a lot more difficult. You have to
Mm.
work harder in breaking into one of these companies. But
Mm.
once you get in, it's very, very advantageous.
I see.
So we followed that system of marketing
Mm.
and we've been lucky.
Mm. So your focus in marketing had been to supply indigenously or to export it?
So indigenously, everything we have been doing ourselves.
I see. Not export, you never focused on.
No, no, we haven't been doing export because what also happens in our particular line, the freight costs because of the volumes comes to a major chunk.
Mm-hmm.
So unless the value addition is very high on a particular carton, then we
Mm-hmm.
have been supplying all over India. A lot of
Mm.
liquor cartons with the high-end raw material.
Mm.
Those work all over India, but otherwise it's predominantly within the state.
Mm-hmm. And you are still doing within the state or you have gone out of state now?
I have supplied outside the state. We do supply a lot of customers of ours use the cartons to export.
I see.
So under what
Mm.
would be like a deemed export,
Mm.
our boxes are sent abroad to
Okay.
Russia and to Europe and to all over the
I see.
place
Okay.
to
Mm-hmm.
local vendors.
Mm-hmm. Now, since marketing part was again handled by, of course, both of you together, but mainly by your husband. Uh, the another part I will say, how during the pandemic, digitally, was it being digital help you in increasing your business, or pandemic had, almost like gave you no business type?
So we did have a problem in the pandemic. There's no doubt about it. From the month we were closed from March 21st to the whole of April. The last week of we were keeping in touch with our customers on email, on phones. We of course have a web presence, and we
Mm-hmm.
did try a little bit of social marketing and web on WhatsApp also, which is so popular these days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then one of our customers came back to us in April and we opened up in May, and we
Mm-hmm.
decided that let's try a round of running, and fortunately it worked for us. What
Okay.
was a little unfortunate is from January we had been planning to get into the food industry marketing, but we
Mm-hmm.
hadn't got the time to really get into it too much. And
Mm-hmm.
we deal mainly with industrial products,
Mm-hmm.
packaging. So all
Yes,
the
yes.
industries got affected.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are marketing more in the food line. We are of course also looking at health because it's showing that health, food, and education, these three sectors are always
Mm-hmm.
running whatever happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we are using the digital presence. We are trying to looking at improving our website. We have
Mm-hmm.
improved our visibility on LinkedIn also.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely digital is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, as expansion to your product line, what do you have in mind at present? Like you think that corrugated boxes are the end product required by the industry, or you think that there has to be uh, some horizontal growth as the product wise?
So, one thing we did develop during the pandemic was dispenser
Uh-huh.
for sanitizer dispenser made out
Okay.
of totally made out of corrugated box. So
Oh, I see.
that was really nice, and it was
Oh, I
very
see.
well appreciated, and we marketed it on LinkedIn, and we
Oh,
got a reasonable amount of orders also for that.
mm-hmm.
So it was a cheap version of a dispenser, but it could be used as a advertising tool also, because we
Mm-hmm.
tied up with an advertising agency
Mm-hmm.
and we designed it. So the advertising agency was selling it to companies who could advertise their company on the dispenser.
On the dispenser.
So it
Okay.
was like a display box also, a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
display unit also. So that
Yeah.
was a double advantage. So that
Mm-hmm.
is what we did do during the pandemic and develop it.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are we are actually now expanding into a new company, which
Mm-hmm.
will be more of automation. And we
Mm-hmm.
have started marketing for it. And yeah, we are looking at only corrugated right now, but we are looking at display also as one of the products that we can do, and definitely a lot more of food.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay.
volumes in food make it worthwhile also.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because even amongst the packaging, it's a very big industry. I feel that because you have that bubble wraps, then you have so many other wrapping systems,
Correct.
like inlayered envelopes, bubble inlayered, or otherwise plastic inlayered. So many items are there. So you are gradually taking up those
No,
productions.
we are staying in the biodegradable horizon where
Okay.
paper, wrapping, pizza boxes,
Mm-hmm.
maybe paper packets is something we could look at in future, we said, though it is actually a different cottage industry. So
Mm-hmm.
right now we are happy in our zone of corrugated boxes. There's a huge potential. Every industry needs it. So there is enough and immense need for them, and I think we have enough on our hands right now.
And you think that the competition has nothing to do, like it has never affected you? It is.
No, of course it has affected me. I've lost customers, I've gained customers. I think if I keep my quality and my standards all right, you don't really lose a good customer. And if I've lost some, I've got some better ones in
Mm,
place of them. That will continue. That's always a journey of an entrepreneur. You can't really get worried with that. That's part and parcel of an entrepreneurship
mm,
journey. Today, I'm opening up in a place which is about 30 kilometers outside the city. I've taken 2 acres of land. I'm looking at newer machinery. I'm looking at a different kind of industry to set up. I'm all excited about that. And I find that it's a new industrial zone. There's a medical devices park coming next door, and they'll all need packaging. I have
mm.
30 other women entrepreneurs setting up units in the same park.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
looking at them for orders,
I see,
and
I
we
see.
support our own. So there are 3 women who have reached out to me that we would like to buy our packaging from you henceforth.
Okay.
So we are
Hmm.
discussing and moving ahead with that.
And that park belongs to women entrepreneurs only?
Yes, it's a FICCI, it's a Flow Industrial Park.
Oh,
The
it's a
FICCI
slow
Ladies
industrial park.
Organization. Yes, I was
Because
allotted 2 acres.
I heard about, of course, Alip. Alip
Yes,
is one important organization. They were
yes.
part of us earlier
Uh-huh.
because Alip is a byproduct of this organization.
Okay.
They all sprang up from this platform. So
Uh-huh.
Alip has got huge land and I think huge.
Yes, Alip
Uh,
also has multiple
huh,
parks, industrial parks for women. I'm a member of Alip as well.
I see. Okay.
But this particular park is the first of its kind by Flow,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all for 100% women entrepreneurs. They are in a partnership with the TSIIC,
I
and
see.
about 50 acres was allotted to them to give to women entrepreneurs. They have
Mm-hmm.
scrutinized it to see that they are genuine,
Okay.
And already because of the pandemic, there's been about a year's delay on construction. But
Mm-hmm.
the park is coming up well now, and there's a lot of potential.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. So you have been active on some platform or not so far? Or you don't have time or
I've
you don't
been,
have.
I have been on and off. I've been a part of other women's organizations. I've been president of the Sanskriti Ladies Club, the Utkarsh Ladies Club,
Okay.
and
Okay.
in Flow, I have just been active as a member, not really on a specific thing. I was busy with the business, so I couldn't give it so much time, I felt.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy some of the meetings, the workshops. I'm part of Alip. I
Mm-hmm.
attend some of the better programs there as well,
Mm-hmm.
or wherever I need a support. I know I can walk into their
Mm-hmm.
office and ask for help. I'm part of sometimes trade shows. I've also gone
Mm-hmm.
on an international trade show through Alip, where I had
Okay.
gone to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely these platforms help, the networking helps. There's a community of women entrepreneurs who get together and the support is immense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Lovely.
there is something
Mm-hmm.
about women, they want to help each other. They're
Mm-hmm.
constantly looking at how can I help my friend or
Lovely.
my, fellow
Mm-hmm.
woman entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Very nice, Sharmila ji. Would you like to say something for to upcoming women entrepreneurs or women in general, how and what they should keep it in mind? Like you said, one or two things that the mindset needs to be changed. For years together, the mindset of
Absolutely.
men has really created problems for women entrepreneurs. So how would you like to suggest to women what they should do in that direction, so that, because everything, the charity begins from your own home, your own
Yes.
people.
So in my own way, I have tried to employ as many as possible women. I find they are in any case better workers. Yes, there are times when they are needed more at home. There are working are issues with women, but support them. They'll come back and support you and be your strength. So I think if we multiply our team of women, working women, we are going to do it for our own advantage also. It's not just for them, it's for ourselves as well.
For ourselves. Very nice, Shamila ji. It has been such a wonderful experience to have talked to you,
Thank you
and
so much for the opportunity.
we look forward that you become a part of Federation of Indian Women Entrepreneurs. I will just give a small brief. Federation of Indian Entrepreneur is a pioneer association in the country. It has started in 93, and then Alip came out with it. It earlier used to be known as National Alliance of Young Entrepreneur, and Alip was a part of it. And then in 93, FIWE also came up from the similar platform, and
Mhm.
Alip also was born the similar year. But they are a part of National Alliance of Young Entrepreneur. And we work closely in hand to hand with each other all the time, nationally, internationally. And we welcome you to our organization anytime if you really want to
I
expand,
would
if you
love to
really
be
want to
part of
move.
it. Yes.
And I will really have admired while you are talking that you have done wonderfully well. And we really look forward for such inspirations like you know, who could really give motivation to women around us, who could inspire women by their real hard work, their intelligence, by their dedication. They are able to come up and they are able to be successful in life. You know, I always feel when people say that women, there should not be men, husbands shouldn't be there, but I disagree, because I feel if you're employing a man as a man, why it can't be your own people, you know? Your own people can
Correct.
be a part of your work, because you are
Exactly.
dependent, you have to be dependent on people. As a management policy, we cannot do it all by ourselves, alone, single handedly. We have to employ people. So if you have some more people of your own family in the management, there is nothing wrong. So I always encourage it and I always go for it. And I really, really admire you for the wonderful work
Thank you
you're
so
doing,
much, ma'am.
Shamila ji.
It was a
And
pleasure.
yes, And please subscribe when you see it, uh,
I
the
will.
the YouTube, and like it, and then circulate it amongst all your known friends and your other people, and
Yeah.
tell them, so that more and more people go through it, learn from your experience, and they imbibe it. So
Thank
thank
you
you
so
very much,
much, ma'am.
Sharmila ji.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It has been a pleasure.